On today's episode of Hootworthy, I got to talk to Kai, a fifth grader here at GCA, who's a go-kart racer. These karts can reach up to 70 miles per hour. We talked about his experiences so far and what it takes to be a kart racer. Enjoy the show. Thanks for tuning in to GCA Hootworthy. Got another Hootworthy story coming at you. Love sharing these. Got a great one for you today. This will be real fun. So please tell us your first name, your grade, and how long you've been with GCA.
My name is Kai Mars. I'm in fifth grade, and I've been at GCA for a year now.
Awesome, Kai. So you've been with us for a year, fifth grade. You've got a pretty hoot-worthy hobby, if I say so myself. Tell us about this hobby.
I like to race go-karts nationally around the United States, hopefully around the world next year.
Oh, wow. So you are racing go-karts nationally, so all across the US, and you actually want to take this thing international, racing go-karts. So how long have you been racing these go-karts?
From today, I think I'm on just right at 2 years.
2 years. Okay. So pretty interesting racing go-karts here. And you even have this cool chair. So if you're listening to us right now, you need to go on the YouTube channel and see the video, because Kai, tell me about this chair you're sitting in. And then it looks like you even have a steering wheel sitting in front of you there. What's that all about?
Well, I do school a lot of times in this. This is a simulator, so like I can practice racing on it. It's pretty realistic. I also like to do car games because it's a little bit of a car setup too. So I have this chair. It's a racing chair for gaming, I guess. Then I have this steering wheel. It's used for a steering wheel to turn.
Of course.
And then I have this keyboard on a I guess on a moving arm that holds it up.
Yeah.
So I can type and do school.
Awesome.
I have to take off the camera, but I have a mouse here and then a triple monitor setup. It's kind of like a rig. I have a computer down there that powers it all.
Wow.
And I have a pedal set up right at my feet.
You gotta have a pedal set up. You gotta have the gas, the brake, and is there even a clutch on that system?
Yeah, there's a clutch, but somewhere around here there's a handbrake and a hand shift.
Yeah, man. So that is a simulator, and obviously this is a car simulator, right? This isn't a go-kart simulator. I mean, I imagine it's pretty similar. You just can't go as fast, huh?
Yeah, I guess the go-kart would just be a go-kart on chassis with a monitor and steering wheel. I guess that would be a go-kart sim.
Sure. So you said this is a simulator. So is this the only way that you train? Is this your main way of training for racing? Like, what type of training goes into it? You have this simulator here, but do you also hit the track as well?
Well, yeah, for sure. I have a coach that travels, so we could go to like California or something. He'll be there to teach me and what I'm doing wrong. But for the simulator, I could play racing games with my competitors and friends.
Oh, wow.
So anyway, back to my coach. Like we have a computer, camera/computer. Mm-hmm. So it records video and trying to figure out that word. It lists data like RPMs, miles per hour, sector times, and it can show your theoretical, so it's all your best splits together into one.
Right.
And you can compare data with Micron. It's a steering wheel dash, which hooks
Sure.
up data, tells you times, and so you could hook it up to a computer, and it would show you the graph of where you're slowing down, where you're speeding up, where your RPM is too low, and if you're steering too much, you can compare that to other people.
Wow. So that really helps you out, figure out how can I get better? How can I improve? You've got all this data as you're driving, recording real time. Hey, you could have taken that turn better, or you didn't have to brake as long there. That's the sort of stuff that you figure out with your coach, like how you can take a better turn or not braking as long. And it basically says, this is the best way. This is the fastest time you could have gotten, basically, and you're trying to do that each time.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool. It could show you what you need to do.
Yeah, that's amazing. So why, so we kind of hear about how do you train for this, how you get better using this data. You have a coach, you have a simulator to help you train, and then you also are driving out on the track in your go-kart. But why did you even start racing, Kai?
Well, it was from a TV show like F1 Drive to Survive. It's on Netflix, pretty cool show. Uh, so it was like some F1 drivers driving 200 miles an hour around a corner. Like, wow, that's cool. I want to give that out a try. So when I was 6, I tried to go to Andretti. They wouldn't let me. So next year, I finally got to do it with a 2-seater.
Oh.
So I was so upset. But later, like a couple months later, I actually got to drive one of those Andretti karts on a small track. But then I gave up. Hey, I just want to try real karting now, not some Andretti stuff.
What's the difference between an Andretti kart and then a real kart, as you
Well, I shouldn't say, like, it's an outdoor racing.
Okay.
There's different age levels. So you got 4 to 8-year-olds is kid kart, Homer kart. It's like basic, slow, just how to learn how the basics. So they only go about like 30, 40-ish miles an hour.
Oh, I see.
But in the upper classes, 0206, you got 7 to 12. And then that's pretty where that's a step up where you could get some slow drivers and some really fast drivers. And then there's Swift. Swift is the class that I race. I do L206 and Swift. Swift is 9 to 10 horsepower, so pretty low. But you reach about 70 miles an hour, which is pretty exciting.
Wow. Yeah. So 70 is that the fastest you've ever gone in one of these karts, or have you gone faster than that?
I say 71.5. I got a draft.
Okay. Nice.
But then you have the higher classes. The highest is shifter. Those guys reach like 120, which is crazy.
Wow, that is crazy. Is that how fast you want to go one day, though?
I'm thoughting like 200 plus.
Okay. Because you're wanting to start on the karts and then maybe work your way up to the actual car, perhaps. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves here. So can you tell me, what is one of the most difficult things about racing? Like when you're out there, what's like a challenging thing? Because some people might say, Kai, all it is, I drive every day. All it is sitting in a car, using a steering wheel, pressing the pedals. That's it. So tell me, what's something difficult about racing?
Well, it's a lot different from a car by like many means. One, you don't have like auto steer, so you actually have to crank it.
Okay.
2, I don't know if you reach like 3, 4 Gs in a car. I don't know if That happens on a regular day, but you really reach that on average on go-karts. Sometimes if you crash pretty hard, you'll get like 15.
Yikes.
It's pretty hard on the neck.
Yikes.
Only if you crash. You don't reach that just driving around. But I'd say what's hard is being consistent, trying to be fast, because like something small as that could be like 2/10, which on a national race that's like 15 positions, only 2/10.
15 or 50?
15.
Wow. So you're talking 2/10 of a second is the difference between first place and 15th place.
Yeah, because for qualifying, they're separated top 10 easily by 10th, all top 10 by a 10th from first to 10th.
Wow. And so when you're at these races, are y'all allowed to like bump into each other and hit each other, kind of what's happening at NASCAR, or not really? Like, what are the rules with that?
You could bump somebody, but if you just like spin them out, you'll get a penalty.
Oh, I see.
Which, depending on how big your race is, it could be, I lost 2 spots, no biggie. Or you could like, if the pack's bunched up and you're at a big race, a 3-second penalty. Wow, you're in the back.
Ouch. Have you ever been spun out by someone?
Oh yeah, lots of times. Lots of times.
And have you ever spun someone out? You ever bumped someone? So
well, the kid tried to brake check me, so I just spun him.
But you didn't mean to, or you did?
Well, he tried to brake check me. That was
okay. So he had it coming is basically what you're saying. He had it coming. So trying to stay as fast as possible for the entirety of the race is the most difficult thing about racing, basically. And
it's consistency.
And you're not out there alone. You're having to do that with a bunch of other cars on the track, trying to avoid these different people, right? So what has been, you told me about like what makes this thing difficult. You're going to these races, you're doing these things nationally across the United States, but you told me that you've been spun out and you're doing some spinning out if you have to. But what has been one of the most rewarding things about racing?
I feel like it's winning and just having fun. I say it feels better if you win against someone and that's actually kind of good.
There you go. Yeah. And why do you think that is? Why does it feel better to win against people who are actually good?
Because it's more challenging to beat them, like Kevin Harvick's son. They're out on the track and they're always consistent. They're like 100th of a second off their last lap, even faster. So it's hard to beat them because they're like super fast.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. So how many races, do you know how many races you've been in to date? Do you know the number off the top of your head or like a ballpark?
Yeah, wait. I think I did 25 out of like 50 something already.
Wow. Okay. So of your races, what's the highest finish you've had? Have you finished first yet?
Close. I would have finished first a lot of times, except there's always that one kid that does not want you to and always cast the hit to when you're in the lead.
Sure.
I mean, yep. 2 weeks ago, I was at a national race leading, and then some kid, I go for a pass on the lap traffic, some kid follows me, but he hits me hard. I drop down to 7th.
Bummer. So you've had a few like top 10 finishes?
Top 5.
Top 5 finishes. Okay. So you're still trying to chase that number 1 spot. We know you're going to get it. Even if those people keep bumping you and sliding you. Where was that race that you were at a couple weeks ago? You said that was a national race.
I was at Mooresville, North Carolina.
Wow. Okay. And you travel, you take your car. Can you tell me a little bit about your cart? Like what is a go-kart, or like have you painted it a specific way? Have you like kind of made it your own a specific way? Can you tell me a little bit about your cart itself?
Sure. It's a open wheel cart. It has 4 tires, obviously.
Yep.
Uh, so it has side pods, so it's kind of not. It's a little similar to like an Andretti cart, except it's a little like there's no seat belts,
Okay.
and then there's obviously people flying out of them.
Oh boy.
People getting stuck under them.
Oh my goodness. Are you, yeah, I'm guessing like you have to wear a helmet, right? And a special
Oh,
suit
yeah.
when you're racing.
So there's a rib and chest protector that you have to wear.
Okay.
You have a slide suit. You have a neck brace so you don't snap your neck. Then you have a helmet.
Oh wow. Hey, have you been thrown out of your cart before in a race? Okay.
But I have been flipped over.
You know, that was interesting to hear about the different protective gear you have on as you're racing.
Yeah.
But switching gears to the student side of things, how has being a student at GCA benefited you in this hobby, in this kart racing?
Yeah, it's better because I could like show up to the track, do school. Once I get off track, I can get back on school. So it really works out with my schedule and how I'm racing. So I could like be on track, driving on the road, racing them. Like if I went to in-person school, I would have to call the day off or even the week sometimes.
Oh, wow. So being a student at GCA is really giving you the opportunity, the ability to pursue this kind of go-kart racing and complete school at the same time. Yeah. And not feel like you're falling behind either.
Yeah.
Where can people go, Kai, if they want to learn more about you as a racer, kind of keep up to date with you, like any future races?
Well, I have an Instagram. It's racer_Kai.
Awesome.
And I say a local track that I go to is Atlanta Motorsports Park. Sometimes you'll find me up there on like race days. And it's just fun. It's like a local track. It's kind of like family because every person there is like kind of like friends. They'll help you out. They'll give you like some parts if you need it. But I shouldn't say it's like a national level track. It's right on low club, but it's just fun. There's a lot of people there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you've kind of made a community out of this hobby as well, doing the racing. What are your future plans, Kai, with racing? Is this something that, you know, you're just doing for fun as school's going? Is it just a hobby, or is this something you're like, man, you know, I'd love to make a career out of this?
I guess it sort of counts as a career right now because I guess you can win some money. Yeah, but I would say career because a lot of karting kids, they turn up to be like drivers, F1 drivers, NASCAR drivers, Indy, and all that stuff. I would personally want to go to NASCAR, but if I make any professional sport, I would be happy.
Oh, awesome. So you kind of want to go the NASCAR route. You were saying you could go Formula One or Indy, but you want to go NASCAR if you could choose.
No, actually, if I could choose, I would do Formula One.
Oh, really?
Just the road racing. No, like, road circuits.
And why Formula One? Why is that the one that interests you over NASCAR?
Well, I'd say because I would like a road track like Monaco. I'd say Monaco. It's an actual street which they race on.
Right.
Super tight. There's like a ton of corners.
Mm,
It's
more,
very technical.
right. More goes into it. Kai, this is such a awesome hobby to hear about, and that you are pursuing this. You've got a couple top 5 finishes under your belt already, representing GCA so well. Do you want to give any shout outs before we end?
Yeah, I'd say my mom and dad for supporting me, my coach, and my teammates, I should say. I have another teammate. And I say GCA for helping me do this Hootworthy and helping me figure out this with my schedule, my teachers, because even they do something about my schedule, like they'll figure out assignments if they could change it, which is really kind.
That's awesome, Kai. Well, we love having you here. We're glad that you're able to pursue this kart racing and you're knocking it out of the park. And then also as a student as well, hitting those academics. Thanks for coming on Hoot Worthy. And y'all check out Kai in his future races. You can check him out on his Instagram handle. Thanks for coming on the show, Kai.
All right.